It's national meets regional. Welcome to Sidewalks Entertainment, the long-running celebrity, music, and art series. Join us now for an exciting new path to celebrity interviews, music, rising talents, much, much more.
Know how to ride a horse?
Of course I do. I'm Indian.
Yeah, maybe so. But you're a cowboy today. Thank you for this.
Our guest today really requires no introduction. He is the Academy Award-winning actor, Kevin Costner, and he's in the studio today with his talented co-star Luke Grimes. Together, they are part of the new series on the Paramount Channel called Yellowstone. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the show.
Thanks.
Now, this story takes place in Montana.
That's right.
Can you tell me what it's been like for you guys working on set and shooting out there in the great outdoors?
Yeah. Well, you know, it is set outside. That in itself lends itself to more fun. But when you actually put it in Montana, in a famous historical valley, Bitterroot, which is it's just everywhere you look, it's beautiful. You know, you're acting in one of the most beautiful places in the world, and so I think the appeal of Yellowstone is not only its scenery, which we don't get to see a lot, with some of the dramas that are playing out in front of us, courtrooms, hospital, detective stories, you know, the kind of inner street stuff that goes on. You know, this is out there, and the dramas and the stakes are just as high, but they're dealt with in different ways. And it's set against the way people are currently making a living, which they have for the last 200 years. But it's a modern look at how ranching is being done right now, and the great drama has been crafted by Taylor Sheridan.
Yes, absolutely. Now let's talk a little bit about the genre. Kevin, I know that Westerns are really, you know, your forte. You mentioned before that when you were 7 years old, How the West Was Won was one of the films that really shaped your childhood.
Yeah.
And of course, And of course, we know that, you know, you're also passionate about Native American stories, and we saw that with Dancing with Wolves.
Well, I think the things I like aren't too different than what Luke likes, or anybody that's going to watch Yellowstone, or anybody that's not actually that up on what, you know, America still looks like. I mean, the reality here is the Bitterroot Valley where we're working. You know, it's where Lewis and Clark went down. And these stories, you know, is my love of it is going to be probably everybody else's. That you look at these mountains, you look at these rivers, and you kind of like we're glad they're still there, but there's a lot of drama that takes place. There was a lot of bloodshed over, you know, where this ranch takes place. There was a lot of fighting over it, and the fighting doesn't seem to stop. And it's been brought into the current, it's brought into, you know, this 2018, and nothing's changed. We're still fighting for the land. And it's a really good story.
So why do you feel like it's important to return to this level of storytelling, particularly about these themes?
I mean, I don't know if it's returning to anything. It's just a tale as old as time. It's just classic Americana, and that's sort of what drew me to it. It's you know, the kind of things I grew up on and really loved, you know, and wanted to be a part of from the time I was young, and it's sort of at the same time a throwback and timeless, but at the same time very timely, you know, and it talks about some things that are like currently going on, and you know, you can purely just be entertained by this show, but also if you want, there's something to learn from it too.
Yeah, I don't know why it's important to tell this story, but what is important is that if you are, to be authentic with it, to where people suddenly find themselves relating to people, also watching circumstances that you go, oh my God, what a train wreck, and hopefully you just find yourself drawn into the drama of this life, and kind of subconsciously you start to go, this is happening every day somewhere. Native American issues, the struggle, land issues, people, ranches that have been in people's lives for generations are now threatened by tax laws when finally the patriarch dies and a way of life just begins to, the land gets fractured and disappears, and in the place of just beauty, high rises, condominiums take place, and so grow up. And the Yellowstone touches on all those things in a real unique way without trying to be important. The important part is just being entertaining and making something that people measure themselves against.
Well, in addition to a really strong narrative, I really love the fact that there's an interesting theme that's underlying in this film. And the creator, Taylor Sheridan, he's well known for creating characters who have polarities and having stories that have a dichotomy embedded in them. Good versus evil. In this particular case, is man inherently good or is he bad? How do you guys feel about this theme, particularly on the show, and how do you approach it or infuse it in your character design?
You used about 3 words there that you know big words for sure. But life is complicated, and when it's not, we don't think we're watching something honest. And when it's brought into focus, there can be drama. And Yellowstone, listen, it's as good as I wanted it to be. It's great, and it was great on paper. Listen, there's stuff on TV. People make their choice about what they're going to watch. And the reality is if they watch Yellowstone, I think it's going to be a feast for them.
Yeah. I'd love to know what it was like for you guys working together. Kevin, I know you have a son that's close to similar age as Luke. I mean, what was it like building your relationship on the show?
Well, I tell you, I watched it last night, and an interesting thing happened to me. My son, my real son came up to me, and he said, it's interesting for me to watch this when I see you playing against your imaginary son. And he goes, I imagine myself there. But he was quite moved by it. And the growing pains that we have as real father and son, watching it play out with Luke, who has a really interesting character and an interesting arc and a journey that he'll make in this show. And my other sons, it's good, and it feels honest. Great.
And Luke, you're a fabulous actor yourself, and I'm sure you've heard of Kevin before you sign on for this project.
Who? What's his name?
Bunch of nobodies.
What was it that brought you? Yeah, what was it that brought you to this project, and what was the thing that surprised you the most?
Obviously, working with Kevin was a big draw. It's such an honor to be able to share the set with him and go to work with him every day. And just reading the script, really, once I read it, I was blown away, and I wanted to be a part of it. And I knew that he was going to be in it, and started to see how it was shaping up with the rest of our wonderful cast. And I just literally, there's nothing I'd rather be doing than this show right now. It's the best thing I've ever read.
It feels good, Yellowstone, and...
Sure. And this is the first dramatic scripted series we're seeing on Paramount Channel. How does that make you guys feel, and how do you approach the project knowing that you're sort of the pioneers of this genre on the channel?
First off, we hope people can find the channel. That's really important to us. But the reality is, we know we have one thing to do, which is just make this the best it can be. If we do that, what'll happen is no matter when Yellowstone's found, it will have value, and that's really the truth of it, and that's the thing that we kind of have to keep our eye on. We feel good about being a part of this. We know that when people see it, they're going to be drawn into it. I saw it last night, and it was just really great.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations, gentlemen. We look forward to watching. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.